Hey guys, so today I'll be sharing with you how I managed to help my clients to achieve over a profit of more than $500,000 within a short 3-year time frame. And disclaimer, past performance does not mean the future performance will be the same. But if we just base off the past 4-5 years market performance, definitely I think my research and pick for my client outperform the majority of the market, which means like above average now. And this is comparing with the same budget types across different areas as well. So right now I'll share with you in detail as to how I do my research and analysis before we even enter any new launch or resale property. Okay, so this was quite interesting because I actually managed to find back the notes I had back in 2020 before my client actually made the purchase at Penrose. Alright, so I want you to visualize yourself in 2020, what was available back then. Because today, if we fast forward right to 2024, obviously you know that this particular project make a lot of money and all that. But what I'm going through with you today is actually the stuff back in 2020, and then we see how I actually dissect the different parts of the information as to how we make our selection in the end. So I'll be going through with you my framework of selecting property. There'll be 5 parts, mainly the development and the facilities, the layouts of the different resale and the new launch comparison, and then entry price, the resale in the area how much, the new launch in the area how much, different comparables how much PSF, and then the last part is the exit strategy, which is the supply and demand of that particular bedroom in the area and the demographic of your next group of buyers. Alright, so first things off, we start off with the developer, Penrose developer. So they are under CDL and Hong Leong combined. So their past reputation has been quite decent. Newport Residences, Irwell Hill Residences, Union Square, Canning Hill Piers, Piccadilly Grand, Copen Grand, Tembusu Grand Demise. So from the developer's perspective, we already know that they are quite renowned in Singapore. You ask most of the Singaporeans that buy condos, they already know these are very well established names, and very likely the product that comes out will have minimal defects, and like the overall finishings and the quality of the product will be acceptable in the Singapore's market. Alright, so for those that don't know where Penrose is, basically is right beside Sims Urban Oasis, a resale condo in 2020 back at that time. This is a condo development in the Aljunied area, near Aljunied MRT there. So when we wind back the clock, right, this is what I want you to visualize. Back then, we only had information on the surrounding area and Sims Urban Oasis. We didn't know how Penrose was gonna perform. Based on my research, right, 282 units was 3-beders in Penrose area. So how much square feet the 3-beders are and what are the PSF they are launching at, we totally don't know. So over here, we look at the land size. So the land size is 176,000 square feet. So we actually calculated, right, based on the number of units over the land size, the density per unit is actually about 0.32%. So this is very important as to will help us measure with Sims Urban Oasis, because if let's say Sims Urban Oasis is profitable today, then we want to see what makes that project profitable. Then we want to see if Penrose is able to replicate the same things moving forward, or is it even a better product than Sims Urban Oasis. Ensure that your risk is minimized, right? Then Sims Urban Oasis estimated TOP information back then is 2017. Then they have 282 units out of 1024 that are 3-beders. So at that time, right, the transaction was 1.57 million for a 1033 square feet unit at 1519 per square feet. So land size, we are looking at 257,000 square feet, and the density is about 0.39% per unit. So in terms of density, right, they're actually very similar. One is 0.32% and one is 0.39. So I would say in terms of the people staying there, in terms of the so-called quality of life there, it's not very crowded. The density will be around the same, because if you divide by the land size per unit, this is the main question that you want to know. If land density, will it actually make this project profitable? Okay, so now we know at least from Penrose perspective, right, it is a less dense project as compared to Sims Urban Oasis. So in that sense, it will be a plus point already. Okay, so now we go into Sims Urban Oasis site plan. Tower 12 over here. Okay, I zoom in a bit. Basically, Tower 12 and Tower 10, they are both the stacks that is facing the PIE side. So this will help us determine whether the blocks facing the PIE side, they will make more money, or maybe the internal facing blocks, or the blocks that is facing towards Sims Drive side. So I'll do a comparison whether the different facings will affect the profits. Yeah, so this will help us gauge when we go to Penrose, right? We look at the PSF difference between the Sims Drive side over here, and then we take the PSF at the PIE facing also. Then we see which one actually over time will make more money based on Sims Urban Oasis TOP 2017 that time until 2020, the transactions that was available. Now we're gonna determine whether Sims Urban Oasis, the 3-bedroom layout, right, whether it's a quality one or is Penrose having something better. So this will give us a gauge as to where the overall supply, like what kind of quality layouts there are. Okay, so look at the first layout for Sims Urban Oasis, right? This is a dual key unit and it's 958 square feet. So the first thing I want you to notice is that because of the dual key layout, right, they have double the pantry and kitchen space. So even though it's 958 square feet, actually it already has additional wasted space. Second thing is because it's a double up, right, as a dual key, so they kind of have this awkward long foyer area. Second part is that they have the balcony space. Actually, it combines from the bedroom to the living room area. So in today's market, actually, some people they prefer not to have so much outdoor space, because outdoor space is you cannot utilize as indoor. You need to put zip track, all those. So people nowadays they prefer a smaller balcony area. Maybe just this part that cover the living room area enough already. They don't need the extra balcony one in the bedroom area. But I think other than that, actually the entire layout is kind of efficient if you just don't see the balcony and the double kitchen pantry layout. So I think some of the layouts at Sims Urban Oasis, it really depends if they can hack down certain walls and all that. But you see, that one will already make the unit slightly off shape, and also you need to spend money to do renovations. And one last thing is that the bathroom too, they don't have a window. So in a sense, even if you hack down some of the walls or that, your bathroom, if you don't have window, they will need mechanical ventilators. And the toilet will be kind of dark if you don't have lights on. Alright, so now for the second layout at Sims Urban Oasis, we have this 818 square feet unit type. 818. Okay, so this particular unit type, right, actually is quite efficient. Okay, I look at this layout, actually there's not much problem. You see the kitchen, you can enclose it and there's windows. The bathroom also got windows. The master bathroom also got windows. So generally it's quite okay. Balcony size also not very big. It's the normal size. Just nice for the living room area. But overall it's just that the feedback I get is that it's just too small. It's just really too small for 818 square feet. And this 818 square feet, right, because this is pre-harmonization, it will already include the AC latch as well. Okay, then now we look at the next 3-bedroom layouts. So at Sims Urban Oasis, the next one, same thing. Okay, this is 1324 square feet. So this is actually very, very solid size for a 3-bedroom. This in the current new launch market probably is like close to a 4-bedroom size already. So you see over here, okay, one thing is they have this balcony space that's quite big. Alright, and actually the main feedback I get from this particular layout is that it's an odd shape. You can see this. Basically is this part here. Is this part. So you see the layout. Actually the weird part is just this triangle trapezium shape. You see, right? Actually they have quite a significant space between, like if they just had a regular layout all the way straight, instead of doing this part like this, right? Actually you can't really do much in this portion because the shape is odd. Then you see, actually maybe the bedroom, if they do it properly, proper shape, like a proper square like this, right? The bedroom could have an additional table here, or put other stuff other than just a wardrobe. But because of this shape like this, right, they actually can't really do much with that space here. So good thing is that they also have this utility room that can act as a storage or additional room for maybe a helper. Yeah, but other than that, actually the layout itself, the size wise is quite okay. Yeah, the bathroom too over on this side then master bathroom. So quite a spacious 3-bedroom layout, because I would say the living room area, dining room area is quite spacious. Then they also have this option if they want to put the dining table here, then the dry kitchen, maybe they can don't put this island. Dining table will put here, right? So the living room and sofa can put around here. They will make this area much bigger now. Okay. Alright, so now to the final layout for the Sims Urban Oasis 3-bedroom ones. So this is a 1023 square feet unit. Alright, so the best way I can describe this layout is that it's a 3-bedroom dumbbell layout that is not very efficient. First things you notice is that the balcony over here is actually connected by the living room and the bedroom. Honestly, I don't know how many people would like this kind of layout, right, where the balcony is beside the bedroom as well. Because in a sense, the balcony, when it's connected to the living room, it does make sense. But when you connect to the bedroom, right, I feel that the bedroom maybe don't really have the privacy. So this one really depends on individual, okay. But other than that, the balcony size is actually quite decent. It's not very big. Second thing is, it's very weird that you see the bedrooms, right, is on this side. There's one bedroom here, and then the other 2 bedrooms are here, and then the wet and dry kitchen is over here. So when you look at this, right, they have this like wasted space over here that you can't really do much, because they choose to put this at the entrance over here instead of like maybe putting the bedroom tree over here. You see what I mean? Then as a result, right, you see also one more thing is the master bathroom. You see, I draw out the master bedroom. So the master bathroom, they also got this like another big box here that you can't really do too much here, because like it's the entrances to both doors. One is to the toilet, one is to the main room itself. So it's a very awkward space that you can't really do too much stuff there, and at the same time it's like wasted space. And another thing for this slightly bigger 3-bedroom, they don't have storage or utility room. So that's another like downside from this particular bedroom size. And one more thing is that the bathroom too over here don't have window, so it's also going to be mechanical ventilation. So now we look at the Penrose site plan. So we have block 20 and block 22. They are both facing towards the PIE. And then we have block 30, 28 and 26. They are facing towards the Sims Drive. So when we analyze the units and layouts for Sims Urban Oasis, right, what am I looking out for? Okay, listen carefully, right? So the units that maybe we find out, the PIE facing units are performing better than those facing Sims Drive. So we will see, right, the 3-bedders for Sims Urban Oasis, will it be better than the ones at Penrose? So from here, we will see if the stack 8 units, stack 2, stack 17, and stack 11 units at Penrose, is it a better quality than those at Sims Urban Oasis for PIE facing units? So if, let's say we see the Sims Urban Oasis units, right, the PIE facing units are actually better in terms of quality than the Penrose ones are, then actually you are not buying into a better product, then maybe it will affect your profits. So same thing, we also look at Sims Drive. If we already determine that the units at Sims Urban Oasis facing Sims Drive actually is more profitable than the ones facing towards PIE, then we look at Sims Drive facing for the 3-bedders. Which one is more profitable for Sims Urban Oasis, and then we see if there are better layouts over at Penrose, very likely you will have a higher chance of profitability lah. Okay, like stack 29, stack 34, 26, 25, 22, 21. So you need to have your unique selling point and differentiating factor. So very likely, when I talk to buyers nowadays, if we, let's say we look at this particular development, maybe we look at Sims Urban Oasis also, right? A common objection for 3-bedroom owners, I already can feel it, that they don't want the PIE facing units. So very likely, just from this rough guess, PIE facing will perform less profitable than those at Sims Drive. But of course, your entry price is the one that will determine your so-called profit level lah. But a PIE facing unit in the resale market, I think even if it's priced maybe 100k, 200k cheaper than the Sims Drive facing units right over here, it might be more difficult to exit lah. So I think in the end, it also will boils down to your strategy. If you buy cheaper, will it be easier to sell? Or you want to look for something that get easier to sell? Maybe you can have the same profit margin. So these are the things that you need to consider before you even make a purchase. And also not to forget, right, we have the pool facing, inward, premium facing lah. So all this, definitely it will be a much higher price as compared to those PIE facing and the Sims Drive facing units. So we need to see if the price gap between this developer pricing will make sense for you to enter which particular facing to ensure you'll be able to make the most money lah. So this will also determine the unit selection when it comes to new launch developments. It's not that, oh, this development is good, most likely all units can buy. That is not true. Okay, I've seen owners that even though this project will achieve almost like 100% in profit transactions, right? But some of them only make like maybe 30k. Then for the same bedroom type, you have owners making like 500,000, 600k, the kind of range. So it's really a very big difference in terms of unique selection and entry price. Alright, so now we look at the Penrose 3-bedrooms. Actually, for the Penrose one, I also hate it because there was a lot of 3-bedroom different layouts. But we won't be going through all. It's just that I basically shortlisted a few for my clients that I feel it does make sense for them. Okay, so we see here, like we compare, right? Even in the same development for Penrose, there's different layouts. So for this particular stack 16, 102 square meters, the only thing about this layout, actually overall is quite efficient. They have a kitchen over here, then they got a proper storeroom, they got a toilet here, a bomb shelter, then the bathroom and master bath got windows. The balcony space is quite efficient, not a lot of wasted space. The only main part is this like weird L shape here. Yeah, that one, nothing they can do, but maybe you can do like shoe rack or like some display objects, but I would overall classify that as a wasted space. Then we compare to the other layouts, right? This is the ones that I already told my clients consider between these few lah. So this is at stack 23, then this is 98 square meters. Alright, so you see this unit overall also very efficient layout. And you see here, this part is not a lot of wasted space because it's the foyer area, right? Then bomb shelters over here, storeroom, kitchen, and then the typical living dining area lah. Then the 3 bedrooms on one side. I think this is what most efficient 3 bedroom layouts people will like and can accept lah. So I will classify all this as under ideal. The next also quite decent layout one is we are looking at stack 26. So over this one is 97 square meters. So over here you have the entrance foyer area, and then we have this household shelter right beside the kitchen. So I think this is the nice part because they actually combine everything together, the bomb shelter and the kitchen part, right? And you see, instead of the storeroom separately as compared to the other unit, they have it like so-called combined with the entrance of the helper's toilet over here. Slightly different, yeah. So you really see which one you prefer, because some people I know, right, they actually prefer the storeroom combined together with the kitchen area, right? So that overall your kitchen space will feel bigger. And then if you are a person that cooks a lot or that, you might want a bigger kitchen area. You see, actually when you compare, right, this particular layout for the kitchen, this one, it does feel a little bit smaller because it's like a S-shape, L-shape kind of formation. But this one, this particular Stack 26 one, right, the kitchen is a more rectangular shape. So overall, it just feels slightly bigger. Then this particular layout, balcony and living room also quite standard, very, very similar. But it's just that over here, they have this box. I think this is the main pillar for the development. But other than that, actually the overall layout itself is still very efficient. Okay, so now I will show the Sims Urban Oasis site plan, right? Then we see which facing actually make more money and which facing make less. So I just put it out here, you try to remember it, alright? So basically, this is Tower 12, Tower 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. And then the inside ones is 18 and 16. So now we look at the units for highest profits. Okay, so now you see, right, the highest profit facings in Sims Urban Oasis. Okay, for the sake of easy comparison, right, we just look at the highest profits year to date okay. So there will be some discrepancy as to the transaction of the data, but this exercise is just in general to get a feel which are the facings that is more profitable. That's it. So you can see over here, these are the thing I want you to focus on is actually the block type, which is over here. So you see block 18, block 4, block 2, block 6. So over here, zoom in, I collated, basically these are the blocks that are the higher profits facings. So you see, there is only one from block 10 and none from block 12. Why? And where are the facings of this particular two blocks at? And here you see, okay, block 12, block 10, they are both the PIE facing stacks. Okay, so basically, from this simple exercise, right, we already can see the higher profits one are either the stacks facing towards the swimming pool, or towards this side, towards the swimming pool, towards this side, or towards Sims Drive direction. Alright, so either ways, if you just close your eyes, you anyhow choose anything other than Tower 10 and Tower 12, very likely you will make a higher profit margin as compared to those facing towards the PIE side. This is just a very simple concept. Okay, so this will help us narrow down. If let's say today you have the budget for both the PIE, swimming pool and the Sims Drive facing, but you don't know which one will make more money, then this exercise will help you narrow down which facing. Okay, then now you see, right, we look at the lowest profit facings for Sims Urban Oasis. You see, I want you to focus on the blocks again. So main thing after I collated everything, right, lowest profits they will come majority from block 4, 8, 10, 16 and 18. Very similar story again. Lowest profits, right, we have 7 from block 10, 5 from block 18 and 0 from block 2. Same reason I'll ask you, why? Okay, so you see, right, 7 transactions are from block 10, the lowest profits one. Okay, then the next one, we are looking at 5 from block 18. So block 18, you can see just a rough bird's eye view, right? These are the odd shape layouts. Can you see over here? You see look like the crocodile mouth, right? These are the odd shape layouts. It means that the odd shape layouts, they are not popular despite being pool facing. When sometimes some people, they look at this layout, but it's pool facing, maybe I can still accept something like this. Data don't lie. We know that block 18, they are all weird and odd shape layouts. Even though they are premium facing, right, they are not profitable because people just don't want this kind of shape. When you have a regular shape, you will still go for the odd shape. You confirm won't go for odd shape. Also 0 from block 2. So from block 2 here. So you see, they are majority the regular shape layouts, either facing pool or facing Sims Drive. So it means that any of the units from block 2 they don't even fall into the low profit category. They are all highly profitable. So this is how I will analyze the resale comparable as to see whether the current new launch right beside it, whether can enter or not. I think we already kind of determined that Sims Drive facing for layouts are the most desirable for that particular area, right? So we compare, right? When we look at the Penrose and the Sims Urban Oasis Stack 20 and then Penrose Stack 25, so they are very similar size 3-bedroom units and they are facing towards Sims Drive. So if you are looking to buy Penrose today, you need to have it will help to have a layout, right, that stands out compared to the Sims Drive facing units at Sims Urban Oasis. Alright, so you can see the side-by-side comparison. So here the balcony space is at the living room dining area but then the Sims Urban Oasis one is combined with the bedroom 3. So this one also will see if you can accept it as a buyer today. You can see we compare the kitchen area, right? This one, Sims Urban Oasis one got a dry kitchen area, but the Penrose one, right, they have this storeroom over here. Kitchen size quite similar, and then they have an additional utility toilet. So I think that's a plus point for Penrose also. Alright, and you see Penrose, the overall layout, right? The bedrooms are all on one side, but the Sims Urban Oasis one, they have this like one bathroom and one bedroom here, and then the two bedrooms over here. So I think most buyers in the market today, they would prefer actually all on one side. Yeah, so overall, I think already Penrose layouts are slightly better than the Sims Urban Oasis one. And most of the time, I think for three beders, if you don't have a storeroom, it is generally not as popular as those without a storeroom as seen over here lah. Then if I already say the unit size is quite similar, right? Yeah, so another thing is you look at the foyer area. So here there is this like slight wastage of space, and also the weird master bath, master bedroom configuration. Well, this one is more normal lah, it's just one simple rectangle. Then here is slightly smaller wasted space than the Sims Urban Oasis one, but in the end I think the main winning factor I would say is the household shelter and the storeroom as compared to this Sims Urban Oasis layout lah. So when we look at Penrose, it is already a more superior product as compared to the Sims Urban Oasis one. So that's what makes it an even more confident purchase if we are just looking side by side comparison with the same facing. So that will be your unique selling point when you enter the resale market when it still is. So these are the Sims Urban Oasis asking prices right back in 2020. So this was what I usually will do for my clients. So this one will get a gauge as to what are the owner's expectations selling in the area right now. So you see a preliminary research, right? It already show that the people asking there is in the 1.5k range, even though it's a dual key and a ground floor unit some more. 1.6k, 1.6k PSF, 1.6k, 1.7 asking, 1.7 asking. So just a very layman comparison. If you already know the resale there already asking in the 1.6k range, 1.5k range, right? Of course, you want to look at transacted values lah. But just a rough gauge, if the new launch pricing is somewhere close or slightly above this price, very likely you will have a very safe margin already, because the units selling there in the resale market already can do for this kind of asking price. So if let's say Penrose launch at 1,006, 1,007, and then it is almost like 5 to 6 years younger, you can actually consider that, because when you are in the market in the future, very likely people will still look for something that is newer and better layouts. So I think these are all very important things that you need to take note before you even look to purchase anything. So this one will also help us determine, right, at the new launch, the pricing day one, what to look out for. And if it's too expensive, we'll walk away from that. If it's good enough, then maybe we can go in. So these are the 3-bedroom transactions, right? That was back in 2020 lah. So we weren't working with much information, but we knew that these units were in the 1033 square feet range, and these are the PSF that the transacted already. So it was in the 1.4k to 1.5k range. So anything, if the new launch is around there, it is a very attractive buy already, because you are actually buying a new launch, a newer lease at the current resale pricing. So the average I calculated, we are looking at 1532 per square feet, and then the quantum is in the 1.5 to 1.6 M range. So actually, sometimes people also don't realize that quantum is a very important play. Even if the unit sometimes is very efficient layout, and it's maybe a 3-bedder that is in the 1.2k square feet, right? If the quantum overall is too big, like maybe it's in the closer to 2 million range, people might not accept it, because in the $3 million range, they probably can buy the 4-bedder or even a 5-bedder in a more ulu area. So you have a lot of competitors, and you don't have a very specific unique selling points over similar size units. So when we look at the profitability in 2020 for Sims Urban Oasis, right, you can see over here they made in the range of 100k to 200,000 range, and their holding period on average was about 3 to 4 years over here. 3 to 4 year period when we had all these transactions. We actually achieved 7 out of 7 transactions in 100% profit for 2020. So will Penrose follow this, and what are the factors that led to this? So they are based on just now what I discussed. So now we analyze the land bid cost. So we see that CDL, they actually got the land at the tendered price, 383 million. So that actually translated to a cost of $1,235 per square feet. So usually a good gauge I'll do to my clients is that you calculate the break even over here, then 10% profit, 20% profit, and 30% profit. Generally, if we are already in the 30% profit range, it is quite risky for consumers, because like I said, the profits is already taken by the developers. So now the risk will be passed on to the consumers. In the 20 to maybe 10% range, definitely is much safer. And actually, right, you see Guaco Land, they submitted the second highest bid, and they are the ones that bidded for Sims Urban Oasis back in 2014 April, 688 PSF per plot ratio. So this was still 12% below the top bidder for this particular Penrose land. So this also shows that not just property prices, but land cost is also rising over time. Alright, so this is the research back in 2020. These are the new launches in the RCR area. You see, actually today, you see this kind of prices, you may be thinking, 想当年 I should have bought back then. Antares is beside Mata MRT. They were launching around $1,700 to $1,800 per square feet. Then Penrose, back then my estimation was actually in the $1,700 per square feet, because it's still quite reasonable considering how much Sims Urban Oasis was actually transacting at already. Then we look at Park Place Residences, Paya Lebar MRT there, between $1,750 to $2,100 per square feet, and it is fully sold out. Park Esther transacting between $1,500 to $2,000 per square feet, and it was already 90% sold. To be honest, back then, if my buyer still buy Park Esther, actually today they also would have made money, but maybe won't have made so much, because developer, right, when they already reach, let's say, 90% sold, very likely you think this last 10% they will be in a rush to sell it, or they can take their time to sell at a much higher price. Very likely it's much higher price and they can slowly sell. Yeah, so this is the main developers like pricing strategy over time. But you see, when you look back, actually it's better to have bought something even at Park Esther than never buy anything. Okay, so now we look at launch day. So we can see 341 units sold. So it's translating to about 60% of the units at Penrose being sold, total of 566 units. The PSF transacted, you see here, is about $1,500 to $1,100 per square feet. So judging by this, my estimation of the nearby new launches, just this matrix, right, already gave a very accurate estimation as to what to expect at Penrose, which is quite realistic. Then we look at entry price, right? Those that bought 2020, majority of them was in the 1.4, 1.5, 1.6 range. So I think very likely cheapest facing one is the PIE one, which lower PSF. Then the more premium one is the swimming pool facing one. Okay, so now we come back to the Penrose site plan analysis. Before we even know what is the pricing we get, right, we just want to have a rough gauge. So we will have three main parts. One is PIE facing units, one is Sims Drive facing units, and the other one is the pool facing units over here. Okay, so bear with me, this is a little bit messy, but I went to go and collate all the prices for the units transacted at the 10th floor. So we have a very easy comparison. Okay, based on just now I mentioned the three criteria, right? For case study wise, right, we will just be comparing the three. Alright, so just for case study wise, I'll just pick one from each different facing and then all at the same floor, kind of similar size units, all three bedrooms. Okay, so you can see over here, right, basically the 958 stack 11 unit facing PIE, very attractive PSF at 1441 PSF, and this is even lower than those transacted at Sims Urban Oasis. And we're looking at a quantum of 1.38 million. The pool facing one, stack 16 over here, we are looking at 1098 square feet, 1633 PSF, transacted at 1.79 million. And the last one, stack 26, 1044 square feet, 1522 PSF, and 1.589 million. So you see the time period that transacted at September 2020, October 2020, September 2020. So I would say overall it's very similar already. Now you ask me which one to choose, right? I use this very simple matrix. If you don't know which one, you're okay with all facing. So you see, PIE versus pool, we are looking at a 192 PSF difference. So it's almost a 13.3% premium. Then we look at PIE versus Sims Drive, 81 per square feet difference, 5.6% premium. Then now we look at the last one, pool versus Sims Drive, 111 square feet difference, per square feet difference, and 7.2% premium. So right now, if I'm looking to like invest for per se, right, I would want the most bang for my buck. So I will look for this particular least premium one with a very significant difference in terms of facing. So I advise my buyer to actually look for the Sims Drive unit. So you see, just now our research already say that Sims Urban Oasis, we overall see is one of the more profitable stacks, and also the pool facing one was quite profitable. But now we look at whether the pool facing or the Sims Drive one is more value for money. And then actually we feel that 7.2% premium and $111 per square feet difference. I actually told my client, instead of entering at $1,600 per square feet, why not we enter at $1,500? Because $1,500, right, is already established for the Sims Drive facing in Sims Urban Oasis. It's established already. Yes, you can still pay a little bit higher to get the pool facing unit, but you see, we are paying 7.2% more. So when we look at overall returns, right, in a sense, you already are preparing for 7.2% less profits. If we look at just in the resale market. Because you see, today my buyer, right, they buy at 1.589 million. Then this other buyer bought at 1.739, almost 1.8 million. So you see 1.8 mil. Whereas here we are looking at 1.6 million. So this is almost a 200,000 difference, which will be easier to exit the market. If today, so back then, I wasn't expecting such a high profit, but I knew that my owner will be in a very safe position. Because if let's say to 1.6 million, right, they want to make 1.8 million, they want to make 200,000, they just need to sell 1.8 million. But for this particular pool-facing buyer, they will have to sell at 2 million for the same amount of profits. When we look at this sense, and the square feet is only about 50 square feet difference. So overall, when we look at exit strategy, it will make more sense for my client to go for the same drive facing unit because the quantum is still lower. And when you look at, let's say, buying at 1.8, it seems not so scary than buying at 2 million because the first number change. It's a psychology thing. So now, right, the launch day, we look at the developer pricing for the same stack. So these are all stacks 26. Then you see, right, basically the conclusion was there was only about $6 per square feet jump per floor, and it is consistent. So the fact that it is consistent $6 per square feet jump per floor, right, it would be best to go for as high as possible because usually people will want to look for mid floor to high floor unit, not preferred fifth floor and below. So this will help in your exit strategy. When you look at resale market, right, you also would at least want something fifth floor and above. So that's what exactly I advise my client. Try to look for something above fifth floor. And sometimes in the new launch market, right, the developer will do this. Maybe fifth floor to sixth floor, right? Then you have fourth floor here. So maybe the same size, the jump here was about 10k. Then because here to here, right, they know more people will accept sixth floor and above, they will maybe jump a 20k jump. So which one would you go for? I would actually advise my client to go for the fifth floor one, because fifth floor, right, that will ensure, like for your case, right, the sixth floor unit, they paid additional 10k above what the fifth floor and fourth floor unit paid, because the price jump is no longer 10k per floor. This one is 20k. So same thing, you really must see, like some units are like usually like the 15 to 20th floor, right? The jump per floor, maybe the lower floor is like 5th floor to 10th floor, we are looking at maybe 10k per jump, but here maybe it's like 30k per jump. So the jump, you always need to look at the jump difference, then you make your decision from there. And all this, definitely you need to know the different pricing already. Yeah, so you need an experienced agent to assist you so that you won't be very lost and overwhelmed with a lot of emotions on the launch day itself. Alright, so now we look at the last part, which is the exit strategy. So from here, the first part we will touch on is the competing supply. So in a sense, this is like your competitors now. So you can see over here, what I want you to focus on is beside Penrose, we have Sims Urban Oasis, Trail Residences. These two developments, these three, right, they're all freehold and they are kind of quite old and they are small developments, so I will kind of exclude them. Then the next best one is Central Grove, but this is also quite old already. Basically TOP in 2001, and then there's a total of 262 units. So we'll be using these four main condos as our competing supply. So when we look back then, so I need you to rewind the clock again. Sims Urban Oasis, right? You see, this is the entire area, the 3 bedrooms. Sims Urban Oasis, total got 282 3 bedrooms, transacted at 1519 PSF. Trail Residences, 2018 TOP, 91 3 bedrooms, PSF 1529. Central Grove, TOP 2001, 3 bedrooms at 130, and then PSF is about 986. So here, today, right, we have a total of 503 3 bedrooms, and then Penrose will be introducing another 282 3 bedrooms. So overall, right, in this entire area, the supply of 3 bedrooms is actually very, very low. And the fact that Penrose is adding almost 50% additional supply, some people might worry that, then wow, this means there's a 50% increase there. But actually, when you look at the population in Aljunied area, this 200 plus extra 3 bedrooms is not sufficient enough to serve the entire area. There's a stronger demand as compared to the amount of supply there. So we see the District 14 3 bedroom transactions, right? We only have data up to 2020. So you see the blue color bar is the volume. So today, right, we have 503 current 3 bedroom supply. Then we look at 2022. They had 289 3 bedroom transactions. So of course, I will take the entire average for this entire district, right? So you see, total volume of transactions 1229. So average 3 bedroom volume here, right? We are looking at 204. So 282 divided by 204, we are looking at almost 1.38 years to actually absorb this entire new 282 supply. So less than 2 years to absorb the new supply. I would say that definitely the demand here is quite strong lah. And just now, right, you see, I only use the comparison between Penrose and Sims Urban Oasis because these two are like the closest comparable already. The rest is actually either not that near or it's just very different in terms of size and quality build and age lah. So you see, if we compare between these two, there's only a total of 564 3-bedroom units. And on top of that, we have 67 units from Sims Urban Oasis that is dual key lah. And at the same time, you also remember some of the layouts is odd shaped. So actually the number of quality 3-bedroom supply in District 14, right, in a decent sized development that is not too old, actually is quite low. And then when you compare to the transaction volume here, actually there is a very clear shortage of 3-bedrooms supply in District 14. You can see this was the data back in 2020, Sims Urban Oasis, right? You can see quite a significant portion of the buyers are actually coming from HDB. So it means that they are HDB upgraders. And this was back in 2020. And then how I advise my client using this data was that this will determine the demographics of your buyers that are coming in. So you see today, I mean, of course, this was unknown back then, but today when we see the proportion of the buyers, right, still a significant portion, 47%, comes from HDB addressed previously. So it means that a huge proportion is still coming from previous HDB owners. So you already know your target market is HDB market upgraders or people that are already in the private property market looking for maybe something newer, bigger size, more value for money. I was also quite confident after doing my research, right? Because the demography of the buyers, which I concluded majority was from, not say majority, but a huge portion was from HDB upgraders. So we look at the nearest just MOP units, right? At Kallang MRT area. So we look at Kallang Trivista, TOP 2017, 2020 transactions. We are already looking for 4-room. Back in 2020 was 880,000. Kallang Heights 2006, 2020 transactions for 5-room was already at 913k at Kallang MRT, which is one stop away. So very likely for buyers looking to sell off Kallang area, they might like Kallang and maybe they can accept our area because it's just one stop away, or maybe the school. So these are potentially what the buyers are or HDB upgraders they are looking at. And this is a very promising sign for Penrose as well in the exit strategy portion because HDB are already 800 plus K and we are closing in on the $1 million mark. And back then Penrose, they only transacted for about 1.5 M for the 3-bedroom, right? It's actually very easy for the HDB upgraders to make the jump towards Penrose. So there is a very clear and defined demographic buyers back then already. Today, don't need to say, today HDB also very easily crossed $1 million mark. Yep, so we look at the buyers, right? You see the transactions September 2020, right? 840,000 for 4-room newly MOP unit, alright? Then this time period also, March 2020 all the way to August 2020, for the 5-room here, they are in the low 700 range to 900 plus K range really, the highest being over here, and this was back in 2020. And last but not least, very importantly, we need to look at the transformation which can be found in the Master Plan 2019. So the main thing here is that you see they want to do quite a few works at the Kallang area, Kallang Live, Kampong Bugis, and Kallang River connectivity. So all these things, right, it means that the government is actually pumping money in to the area itself. Then you see over here, also basically these are all like the Kallang area focus. So I'm not trying to dive very deep into the research for the master plan. That one will take up quite a significant amount of time because you have to study from the master plan itself. But this is just the newspaper article that I just found and dig out. And this one will really show that the government's direction for this area. Traditionally, you want to buy into area with this kind of transformation ongoing so that you know in the future, right, it will have an improvement from today. So this will also help with your exit strategy because there will be better amenities in the area, you know, and you can do some homework yourself. You see those places that the government has pumped in money, right, to create new satellite towns. Definitely the price appreciation is much more significant than those maybe CBD area or maybe St. Jerome area that they haven't developed in a long time and not much empty plots of land, right? The price might already be more stagnant as compared to other parts of Singapore, like maybe the new Bidadari Township, Tampines area, the Lakeside area, you know. So all these things are things that you need to take note of and the government direction. Alright, so we fast forward to 2024, okay, today you see the units, most of them are already selling at $2,000 plus per square feet. And look at the profit amount over here, 500 plus K I cannot reveal which unit my owner bought. If you want to know more, you can look for me directly. But I only can just say they are sitting on the paper profits of more than $500,000 for sure. And the holding period is only 3 years plus, nothing more than 4 years. Alright, so that's all for me today. I hope you found my research and framework useful. And if you have any questions or you need any similar advice with regards to whether this new launch can buy or not, or this resale property can buy or not, I will do the same research for both resale and new launch. It's the same process. You'll be looking out. Okay, but maybe let's say if it's new launch, you'll be looking at the resale prices, whether you can support the new launch, or if you're buying the resale, if there is a significant price gap from the new launch, vice versa. And then if you want to find out more and you have questions as to, hey, what am I buying? Is it the best value for money today? Feel free to look for me at 84849302. The WhatsApp link is down below, or you can just Instagram me, DM me, whatever lah. Feel free to drop me a text, and I will see how I can best advise you. And this is just based on my research on selection of property. So of course, before we even go to this stage, there is one thing I'll do is affordability. So whether you can buy under maybe one name, or is buying with two names better for you, because maybe it will help you with your monthly cash flow. And of course, the next part is understanding the master plan of Singapore's direction. Where are the new MRT lines being built? Where are the new north-south corridor? All these kind of things. So these are the things that I will do on top of the project and unit selection for particular condo or new launch. You should at least be aware of before you make the decision of a huge purchase. Feel free to call me or message me at 84849302 below. Alright, bye.